This is the last section of the series, Fractal Islam. This is part 8. There are seven prior sections. The paraphenomenology of inquiry on edges, limits, and the revelation of truth. Surface as the site of revelation. This is the last sermon of Fractal Islam, part 8. Every experience appears on the surface of being. The surface is the locus of revelation, the face where truth meets perception. Edge as event. An edge is where the appearing of the surface accomplishes its finitude to space and time. The edge is not an end, but the instant when the visible trembles towards the invisible. Limits as a law. A limit belongs to the formal order. It dictates containment and definition. The limit legislates the edge. It improvises. The double embedding. There is no edge without a surface and no surface without an edge. Edge, surface, thing, place, and inversion. Place, thing, surface, edge. Edge is shadow of surface. Every surface projects its own vanishing. The edge is the shadow. The edge is the shadow the surface casts into its own disappearance. The edge is the shadow the surface casts into its own disappearance. Surface as edge enlarged. The edge magnified into extension becomes surface. What begins as limits of perception becomes field of experience. Edge and limits as opposed ontologies. Edges belong to the actual, mutable, and temporal. Limits to die ideal. The edge lives in time, the limit legislates from eternity. The dance of reciprocity. Edge and limits are co-requisites, each needs the other to reveal its own nature. No limit without edge, too complicated. No edge without limits to press against. Edge is vehicle of transformation. Being unfolds at its edges. Inquiry occurs where experience meets its own contour. Surface knowledge. Ordinary knowledge is the surface of truth. It reveals but also conceals by the same act of appearing. Truth as edge of knowledge. Truth is where knowledge cuts through itself. It is the living edge that transforms what was known into what can be understood. If you guys have any questions, just type them up. I am Abe Zucca. I'm an artist and writer in downtown Phoenix. You could check out my art at zuccagallery.com, or you can come into my gallery in downtown Phoenix at 1301 Grand Avenue. Let's continue. Understanding as closure in motion. Understanding is the surface closing upon a newly revealed edge. Each comprehension is a temporal ceiling that awaits the next rupture. Paraphenomenological law. All revelation happens at the periphery. The core is inert until the edge is touched. Edge work of inquiry. Inquiry is edge work, the conscious inhabiting of the threshold between the known and the unknown. To inquire is to stand at the skin of the soul. To inquire is to stand at the skin of the soul. Ordinary knowledge has limit. When knowledge hardens into belief, it becomes limit. A living truth becomes a dead border the moment it refuses to change. Dynamic knowledge. Experience transforms knowledge through revelation of truth. Every new truth is an edge cut into the fabric of memory. Optimizing dynamism. Being's natural motion is towards its own edges. Openness is the gravity of the soul, drawing it toward revelation. The adventure of being. Inquiry invites understanding through revelation, thus transforming knowledge. The cosmos learns itself at the edge of its own awareness. Edge and mystery. Every edge conceals a passage into mystery. Beyond each contour lies not nothingness, but the next dimension of the real. The limit calls transgression. The more perfectly a limit encloses, the more intensely it demands to be crossed. Law secretly longs for the adventure of the edge. Edge as freedom from limit. Edge are the sites where limits loosen. Every threshold whispers, go beyond. The yoga of the edge. Perfection is limit, practice is edge. Every pose of being must be held at the edge, where form trembles into transformation. Praxeology of becoming. Edge belongs to practice, limits to form. The edge is always a verb, the limit a noun. The edge is always a verb, the limit a noun. Edge is actuality, limit as idea. Edges exist in the world, limits subsist in thought. The former is felt, the later conceived. Knowledge and limit. Ordinary knowledge erects limits that the dynamism of being must transgress. The unfolding of truth is rebellion against yesterday's certainty. Wonder as the opening beyond limit. When limit dissolves, wonder arises. Mystery is not beyond knowledge, but at its trembling edge. Edge in space. Edge belongs to places, limits belong to space. The world is not infinite, it is infinitely edged. Edge and glance. To glance is to apprehend an edge. To gaze is to impose a limit. The glance is the mobile intelligence of perception. Edge is method. Paraphenomenology is the method of the edge, describing the appearing of appearance. Paraphenomenology is the method of the edge, describing the appearing of appearance. It attends not to what is, but to how the surface of what is becomes to be. From edge to mystery. Inquiry that follows edges beyond limits dissolves into pure wonder. Inquiry that follows edges beyond limits dissolves into pure wonder. The final revelation, every edge is the skin of the infinite. On basic knowledge, the gnosis of immediacy and the liberation of knowing. Shift to hyperdrive. Ordinary knowledge travels by inertia. Basic knowledge moves by light. Inquiry is the ignition point, a leap from orbit to luminosity. Knowledge is presence. Experience is not informed by knowledge. Experience is knowledge. The moment of awareness is the self-knowing of being. Direct knowledge, direct perception is not mediated by thought. The knee, the fear, the stillness, all are knowing, not knowns. The identity of knowing and known. To know is to be is to know. The perceiver and the perceived dissolve in the act of awareness. The medium of experience, consciousness is not within experience, it is the field of experience. The soul is the awareness in which all manifestations arise. Non-dual equation. Knowing, known, knowledge, knowing, known, knowledge, knowing, known, knowledge. There is no subtraction possible from the Trinity without distortion. Fear is knowing. Fear knows itself as fear. The trembling is the intelligence of consciousness, meaning its own edge. Stillness is self-awareness. Peace knows itself as stillness, knowing stillness. The essence of tranquility is awareness at rest in itself. Ordinary knowledge as after-image. Ordinary knowledge is the sediment of direct experience. Memory is frozen luminosity. Thought is slowed light. Basic knowledge is living light. Basic knowledge is not stored, it shines. It is the radiant immediacy of the present knowing itself. Presence and awareness. Presence and awareness are one substance, two descriptions. Like fire and heat, they cannot be separated without abstraction. Essence is knowing. Essence knows itself not by reflection, but by radiance. It is conscious self-illuminating through quality. The soul as field. The soul is the unbounded medium of awareness, differentiating itself into forms. Every thought is a bubble of luminosity arising within its expanse. The fall into duality. Dualistic knowledge is the forgetting of the field's continuity. Observer and observed are projections of memory upon immediacy. Liberation of knowing. To know purely is to be free of the need to know. The release of ordinary knowledge restores immediacy to experience. Knowledge as differentiated light. Every quality of experience, heat, sadness, joy, is a modulation of the same luminosity. Differentiation is discrimination before labeling. Labeling as veil. Names bind immediacy to memory. The word is the skin that conceals. The word is the skin that conceals the living pulse of knowledge. The four operations of awareness: consciousness differentiates, discriminates, labels, and then believes. Belief is the fourth fall, where knowledge becomes possession. Discrimination without comparison. True knowing distinguishes without dividing. Discrimination precedes the intellect as light precedes orbit. Inquiry as reflective knowing. Inquiry is knowledge inquiring into itself. The act of questioning is the return of knowing to its own source. Liberation through understanding. Understanding is not accumulation, but transparency. It thins the veils until knowing passes freely through itself. Ordinary knowledge as subset. All ordinary knowing arises as a shadow of basic knowing. Even the memory of light is still light, though dimmed. Luminosity as intelligence. The dynamism of being is luminous intelligence. Knowing seeks itself through continual self-illumination. The flow of action. Action is the kinetic mode of knowledge. Movement is not the opposite of stillness, but its unfolding. Knowledge as cosmos. All that exists, inner or outer, is knowledge. The universe is the self-differentiation of awareness. Inquiry as knowledge in action. Inquiry is the movement by which knowledge liberates itself from its own sediments. It is being learning to see through the eyes it has forgotten as its own. It is being learning to see through the eyes it has forgotten are its own. The optimizing thrust. Basic knowledge tends towards luminosity. Intelligence is gravity inverted, the pull towards transparency. Distortion as delay. When knowledge identifies with its own content, light slows into thought. Distortion is merely the viscosity of awareness forgetting its fluidity. Presence as discriminating wisdom. When knowing is completely immediate, it is luminous discrimination. Awareness knows its own texture without mediation. Knowledge as pervasive unity. The total universe is the manifold of knowing itself. Each being is a node of consciousness expressing the same ground. Ordinary knowledge as filter. The mind is a lens that both focuses and obscures. The clearer the lens, the more it disappears. The return to immediate knowing. To know freshly is to dissolve the archive of the mind. Enlightenment is the unlearning of the stored. Inquiry as recurso of knowing. Each act of inquiry plays the cosmic return of awareness to itself. To question is to echo creation's first gesture. What am I? That is the end of Fractal Islam series. I am Abe Zucca. You can check out my art at zuccagallery.com. You can Google the name Abe Zucca and see what you find. I will see you guys later. The next series is the Noumena of Charlie Kirk. Stay tuned. That'll be another 8-part series. I will see you guys later.